Yo, what's up? Welcome back to Reviews with Jake, where I just got done watching Mainstream. Mainstream is a story about a guy and a girl who are trying to find their footing in the entertainment business in LA. A random stranger played by Andrew Garfield then stumbles into their lives who seems to be internet gold to save the day, or quite possibly destroy it. I'll be honest, I don't really know what it was about this film that really drew me to it. I saw the cast, I watched the trailer, and I don't know, I wouldn't say that it necessarily looked good, but it looked intriguing. I had a couple week gap between releases that I'm monitoring, so I decided to say, F it, why not? I've done much more random reviews than this in the past, and frankly, it's probably not the last. Let's keep it on your toes. I also had a really strange mindset going into this one because I genuinely did not know what to think. I had no hopes. Outside of the obvious that I want every movie I watch to be good, because why would one want to watch a bad movie? I had no bar or standard set. I had no prior anything going in, so I went in with kind of a strangely liberated open mind. Well, the cast of the film was a big component of what brought me here, and I gotta say they all did alright. I can't really think of any weak links in the ensemble. Everyone did a very serviceable job besides two who really stood out above the rest. First up, Maya Hawke, who plays our main protagonist, who we sort of go on this journey with. She sort of acts as our normal person, the person that we normal people can latch onto and relate to as we kind of tread into these very dangerous waters ahead that this film takes you through. What treacherous waters, you might ask? Well, Andrew f***ing Garfield. He puts on a performance of a lifetime here. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've always enjoyed him. He's always been solid and fine, but here, he is truly a specimen to be studied. I mean, it definitely helps that he's playing a very interesting character, definitely the most intriguing one in this movie, but not just anyone can pick up this role and pull it off like he did. This character is the definition of a wild card, and Andrew Garfield just soaks up every single ounce of screen time he is given. I mean, he just chews it and spits it out. It is his performance and character that makes this movie remotely interesting, particularly in the first and third acts. In the first act, you are introduced to this character and you're wondering what's going on with him. And then in the third act, obviously avoiding spoilers, you sort of see him in his final form, we will say. And along the way, you're treated with some pretty decent shots here and there. I wouldn't go as far to say it's a consistently visually stimulating film, but it definitely has its moments here and there that gave me a little oohs and ahs. It could have been wondering how they achieved a certain angle in a shot, could have been why they used this particular angle in a different shot, or maybe the vibrant use of color in another shot. Whatever the case may be, every now and then this movie just gave you something special that reminded you that you're not watching just another Hollywood movie. However, that being said, I do think that this movie got a little too experimental at times. For starters, they went a little too overboard on the overlaying graphics. Like, it kind of felt like they were trying to make like a live-action Spider-Verse film. I understand that it was intentional, it's part of this film's shtick, its message about social media culture, but still, I think there was a line somewhere along the way that they definitely crossed. It was one too many emojis on screens that end up being a lot more of a distraction from this message rather than complementing it. I think the editing in general for the film was kind of whack. I mean, the scene structure was really sporadic. It felt like it was all over the place. It never really found its footing. Adding in the rather unorthodox use of music, particularly opting to choose music that features vocals rather than just strictly instrumentals. There were a few cases where the vocals in the music was sort of conflicting with the audio of the dialogue, and they were sort of fighting over our ears. Just all the post work in general just felt very indecisive. Like, it didn't really know what direction it wanted to go. Oftentimes, it felt more like a TikTok or a music video rather than like an actual film with a story and a narrative. This issue is particularly glaring in the second act. As I mentioned before, the first act is pretty good. It hooks you in, it gets you interested, but then it just launches you out of nowhere into the second act and it thrashes you along the way. The second act mess kind of undid all of the good things it had going for it in the first act. All emotional flow and character arcs just sort of collapse and it leaves you hanging. The pacing and momentum is just jerky as hell. You're no longer on a fun roller coaster with your hands in the air, watching all the ebbs and the flows and just enjoying the ride. You hop off that ride and hop on a mechanical bull being operated by some dude with Parkinson's. Yes, as I mentioned before, it does kind of find its footing and calms itself in the third act. It kind of stabilizes a little bit, and it has a message that is worth exploring. But by the time it came around, I sort of already gave up on the movie. I checked out, the damage was already done, and frankly, the climax that would have been great just didn't really feel earned. All in all, this is a tough one to put my finger on. Andrew Garfield's performance might be worth the watch alone, but outside of that, the movie's just kind of a hot mess. I really do think the movie could have been something special if it hadn't stumbled so badly in the second act. And if You know, it didn't feel like your dad discovering emojis for the first time and send you every single one in the library in a single text. Dragon, juice box, synagogue, shower head, flag of Istanbul, upward facing arrow, and third place bronze medallion. Mom, is dad having a stroke? I'm going to give mainstream a C-. But that's just me. What do you guys think? Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below. And make sure you subscribe to this channel to stay up to date with new reviews coming real soon. Stay safe. Thanks for checking in.